This is the fermentation area. I usually get here around 5 in the morning. The first thing that I like to do is to check on my large ferments. These do kind of smell a little bit, so I just try and get here, get it out of the way before everyone gets here. I got into fermentation because I thought it was like really scary. I didn't understand how something could just sit out on the counter for X amount of time and just be all right. The flavors that you can get through fermentation. Do we have fermented vegetables over here? You can't get them any other way. This is a type of Japanese ferment. It's called Hakusai no Sycamore. This is cabbage. We put arbol chilies in there and also Meyer lemon peels. This is going on a chicken sandwich at our Sycamore location. Every morning, some things that I'll check are to see if the ferments are under brine. As they ferment, they release oxygen, they expand, so I'll come in and like kind of press it down and make sure that it's submerged under the brine. I use bags full of water to kind of help me weigh it down. The dilly beans are very popular. A lot of the chefs seem to find different outlets for it. Sometimes I'll try everything just to make sure it's tasting the way that it's supposed to. We have hot sauce, a lot of hot sauce right now. I think I have 3 buckets of hot sauce. A goal of mine is to kind of just preserve everything while it's in season, while it's at its peak, and also while it's at its lowest price. Down here we have a bunch of powders. This is the biggest way that I can do zero waste in the restaurant. This was eggplant skin that's been charred and then dried out and made into a powder, and we can incorporate it in a spice blend. These are spice blends. The dry hot sauce is our zero waste right now, but I'm definitely working on creating all of the spice blends to be zero waste. Root greens kimchi was my first approach to zero waste within the restaurant. At the farmer's market, vendors save me their root green tops, carrots, beets, kohlrabi. These have been washed, chopped, and lightly salted overnight. I don't necessarily have a recipe. It can vary depending on how many tops you have or just the different flavors of them. We have an onion and garlic puree, pineapple and ginger puree. Traditionally in kimchi, you'll have a fruit sweetener. I substituted pineapple since we just have that trim around. It's important to taste it. Something that you're looking for is saltiness and also a strong amount of sugar and sweetness. So, for the last step, I like to use a glove. The chili peppers can stain your hand. And then the fermented pepper paste, I like to do a decent amount. The final step would be packing it. It's important when you're packing it to try and press out as much oxygen as you can. That way the greens release liquid and brine. Anything under the brine that's not exposed to the oxygen is safe, but anything above the brine I would just discard and only eat the stuff that's under the brine. Kimchi can keep indefinitely, as long as it's kept in a cool temperature. The cooler temperatures slow down the fermentation process. I have some kimchi that's 5 years old and still very, very delicious. This has some of our first batches of kimchi that we made. So this one was made in January and it is now August. I think this was the first batch that we ever made. Back in December, kohlrabi was in season, so we were using like a lot of kohlrabi tops, whereas now I have a lot of beet tops and carrot tops and things of that nature. So it's pretty cool to just kind of like have something to try later. So right now we're heading into the butcher room. In this room, I keep a lot of my products in fermentation. This room is a little bit more temperature controlled, so I like to keep a little bit more delicate things in here. A lot of my fermentation started through making kombucha. Our kombucha is sold in the bar as a non-alcoholic beverage. The kombucha is also being featured in cocktails.
We're going to start with juicing half of a lime straight into the glass. We're going to do 2 ounces of mezcal, our ginger kombucha. Make sure to incorporate it gently. We're candying ginger here as well, and that's the ginger kombucha with mezcal.
It's cool to collaborate with the bar team. They want to explore things, and they always want to try everything that I have to offer. Their mind just goes and they come up with these amazing cocktails.
Another project that was really fun with Chef Caitlin was our House Bloody Mary. There's a lot of love and thought that goes into the mix. Chef Caitlin makes 2 different house fermented hot sauces that get incorporated into here. The way we make it, we're going to start with ½ ounce of lemon juice, 4 ounces of Bloody Mary mix. We infuse St. George green chili vodka with guajillo chilies for the tiny bit of spice, and garlic for some savory components. The garlic we use is lacto-fermented by Chef Caitlin. The Bloody Mary is going to get rolled back and forth, chilling the components without bruising the tomatoes. We're garnishing with a series of her lacto-fermented vegetables.
The most challenging thing about being a fermentation chef is just keeping your mind straight, knowing when things are ready. Just gonna check the pH of the dilly beans. It's also pretty physically demanding. Each bucket is 30 pounds of raw vegetable, and then some of them are combined with brine too, so I don't know how much 16 liters of water weighs, but I think that's pretty challenging too. It's amazing to work in a space that encourages creativity and collaboration. Hey guys. Hello. Can I get a morning bun latte? Thank you. It's easy to be inspired here.